Welcome, everyone. It's Coach Crystal, and look who I have. I have three shiny people with me. Today is a very, very special episode. Not only is it the 100th episode of the Get Crystallized Show, but it is also a very, very special episode because we are rolling out. We are rebranding. We are relaunching the Get Crystallized Show to, drumroll please, Fit Beyond 40. Guys, I am so excited. We are rebranding to Fit Beyond 40. The Get Crystallized Show has been amazing. I've had a ton of guests, and they're all still here available on Spotify and on Apple. You are more than welcome, and I still want to encourage you to catch all previous episodes. But we are evolving, just like in fitness. Our goals change, and we evolve as people. And as the founder of Fit Beyond 40, I wanted to streamline everything. So not only do we have the Fit Beyond 40 podcast, but we're also on YouTube, Fit Beyond 40. We are also on Instagram, Fit Beyond 40, and our brand new website is fitbeyond40.com. So all things Fit Beyond 40. Except for the youngin over at the end there, we're all above 40. And this new chapter involves my three co-hosts. And so before I introduce them, actually, let's do a quick introduction right now. And then I can talk a little bit about more what Fit Beyond 40 is all going to be about. So from my left to right, shall we? No. Let's go ladies first. Ladies first. Okay. Ning was like, okay, yes, I'm last. No, you're first. Ladies first. So I call her Ning. I'll just have you introduce yourself, a little bit about yourself, and as a co-host of Fit Beyond 40, what segment are you going to be featured in with me?
Sure. Well, my name is Ning. And if you have problems pronouncing it, say the word lightning, then subtract the word light because I live it, so you can call me Ning. And that was just a family nickname growing up. And before, I used to hate it so much because it was just like Ning. Like, it just didn't sound like a cute, like Nikki or like Coley. It was Ning. And then over time, I was like, okay, there has to be more to this name. And so for some reason, the word lightning came to mind. And I thought, okay, God, there's more purpose in my name now. I am the light that will shine brightly for you.
Amen.
And so I'm excited because the segments that Chris and I will do, for those who don't know, she and I are cousins.
And Filipina, hence all my Filipinos out there, ate is kind of like a form of respect, meaning almost like big sister.
Right. So you'll often hear me call her ate versus coach because she's ate first, coach second, I think, in my eyes. And so our segments are going to be faith-based conversations. And what's interesting is that I grew up in a Christian home, and Ate Chris has seen me grow up in this Christian home, but her journey came a little bit later in life. And so it's really cool to be in the same walk now and have a lot of perspective to share. And that's what our segment's really going to be about. Integrating our faith in our homes and our relationships as believers and maturing.
And in fitness.
Which is actually a very cool learning curve for me. You've had the fitness world your whole life, and now you're integrating faith into it. Whereas I had faith my whole life, and now I get to integrate fitness. So this will be a really cool full circle for the both of us in these conversations, and I look forward to all of you joining.
Yay! I love it. I love it. Okay. And next up, we have some of you girls, listeners out there may know this familiar face. So Coach Janae has been, or voice. She's been a co-host of mine in quite a few segments in the Get Crystallized Show. We did a series on competing beyond 40. We've had a lot of conversations around what does it look like to be fit beyond 40. But regardless, please reintroduce yourself.
Yes, I am Coach Janae. I don't have a cool nickname. It's just Coach Janae.
That's cool.
Right? So as Coach Crystal alluded, we will have our topics of conversation will really be focused around fitness and yes, some nutrition as well, because they kind of tie in hand. And I think that overall, our entire podcast is how all of these elements tie into each other and how they all work together and how you can really maximize and utilize that on your personal journey, whatever that looks like for whatever reasons. So we tend to, yes, focus on, fitness, nutrition, but it's all going to blend together. It will all work together. And we love having those conversations and sharing our knowledge.
Yes, I look forward to that. So all my ladies above 40, and actually, even if you're not 40 yet, there is still going to be a lot of information, practical tips and tools that you can apply, whether you're in your 20s and 30s, and be proactive. Don't wait.
Absolutely.
So everything that we are going to teach and go through and share experiences, they will be applicable to even the listeners in your 20s and 30s. And then, of course, our one and only male co-host, but he's also very pretty.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah.
Who are you?
I am Coach Nelson. I am the husband of Coach Crystal, as you know her. And our segment is just going to talk about life within our faith journey, about marriage, about fitness,
Focusing on family.
and focusing on family. And so I'm really excited to be able to be a co-host on Coach Crystal's show, and just really looking forward to the conversations that we have and to be able to just share our journey with you and life with you.
Amazing. So these are my three phenomenal co-hosts. And so before I share why Fit Beyond 40, not only the podcast, but just as the creator of the programs and services and all that we offer in regards to Fit Beyond 40, I just want to open up the conversation and ask all three of you, what does fit mean to you? What does being fit mean to you? And it doesn't necessarily have to just focus on fitness. I'd love to just kind of share out, with you guys, what does, because healthy is another word where healthy could mean different things to different people. So I'd love to hear what you guys think. What does fit mean to you?
Fit, I think for me personally, yes, there's a big physical component in regards to that. But it's not just aesthetics or how I look. It's a lot has to do with how I feel, right? And I need to feel fit, quote unquote, right? And that could be walking up a flight of stairs and not feeling winded. That is going to be being able to maintain my energy levels all throughout the day. That is, having mental focus and stability all throughout the day. And a lot of that ties into our physical health and our physical well-being, which does goes hand in hand with nutrition, right? And learning more about how my nutrition and how my exercise, how my rest, how my sleep, how all of those things kind of work together to make me feel better. That is my fit, right? That is what I strive for every day. And that's the whole purpose and the whole goal, especially as I'm heading towards my late 40s, right? Is being able to maintain that level of health and fitness. And when you think back to I think the perfect example is think back to shows, 20 years ago, or shows that you watched as a teenager, where the family or the people in the show were 40, and think about what they looked like, and think about the activities that they did, and just like how they acted and the perception that you had of people in their 40s at that time. Not just because as a teenager you think, oh, you must be really old because you're in your 40s, but also that was the society, right? Like that's what we were faced with. Like as an example, father of the bride, the couple, the mom and dad there are in their early 40s. And when I think about the groans and the aches and the pains and just how they physically looked, we have an opportunity to change that. And I feel like we've already, like in today's world, we are so much different than that, right? So that is my big striving point is keeping that energy and that youthfulness a little bit.
Yes.
I don't want to fall into that statistical, well, now that I'm 40 and 50, I'm just going to be more tired now. My back is going to hurt all the time now.
Yes.
I'm just like, I don't want to accept that. I don't
Yes.
feel like I don't have to.
And one thing that I want to point out that you said, 100% fit being energy, how you feel, and 2, it's a mindset.
Yes.
And that's where really where we're all, whether it's family, faith, or fitness, it's all a mindset. It begins in the mind. And, you know, growing up, you would hear our, you know, our parents or our older uncles and aunts be like, "Aray ko," meaning, oh, it hurts. Oh, like, everything hurts. Getting up off the couch hurts. Going up the stairs hurts. Walking, everything hurts. And I agree with you. Fit in that perspective, meaning I'm agile, I'm mobile, I'm flexible, I'm full of energy. And you're right. Back in those days, there was, I think, a lot more activity because now that we have, I mean, I'm grateful for all the social platforms, but they have also made us more stagnant and we're not as active.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people are sitting at their desk, whereas many years back, their work may be more like involving more physical activity, right? As opposed to just sitting on a desk. So yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you brought up the picture of what the 40-year-old parent looked like on TV way back when, because all I could think of is they were graying, their bodies were hurting, and I was just like, I was thinking of all the TV shows, at least in my teenage years.
Yes.
Which was long ago, sorry,
Yeah,
but they still had the same concept
Yeah.
of like a 40-year-old. I mean, of all movies I can think of off the top of my head, I think of 40-year-old virgin, and it's like this is old, the weight that's on his body and just the life that he surrounded himself with. I was like, that's not what I see here. Who I'm joined by on the couch is living a whole different picture of what 40 looks like, and I'm going to aspire to have when I'm 40.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited because this is the last year of my 20s. So death to my 20s, RIP. It was a good run, but in my 30s now I have something to look forward to. And so my definition of fit is a future mindset. It's will I by 31, 35, 38 still be able to play volleyball, still be able to cross my legs like this comfortably and not be like, okay, my knees are giving out, I need to stretch my legs. So the fact that we're just on the couch and y'all are in your beautiful 40s and I get to just like see what my future is going to look like, that is what fit looks to me. So it's very mindset, it's very future, it's very prepare yourself, because you're not always going to have the 20-year-old body that you had.
Oh, and let me tell you, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but when 30 hit, it's like, what happened? I mean, things change. Now we're doing everything that we can to stay young and agile and full of energy, right? And so, we're all 46 on this couch as of this moment in 2025. So this is what 46 look like or could look like. And we definitely want to promote that. We want to promote, you know, still feeling, again, going back to energetic and feeling youthful and having just freedom in your skin. So I love that we're inspiring to you. And, you know, we hope that that's what our listeners are also going to learn, is that it's never too late. Age is definitely nothing but a number. But if you are in your 20s and 30s, everything that, again, we're going to cover, please apply now and learn from it. Learn from us, because we're definitely going to also share experiences and things that maybe we shouldn't have done in the past that we learn from. So I love that, Ning.
Yes, it's me. So fit to me are two things. One, for sure, is in mind. So mentally, being fit is really important, because some of you may or may not know, you know, I battled through mental illness, anxiety, and depression. And maybe for some other day, I'll share that story. But being fit in mind is so key in just how you go about your everyday today life. But most importantly, what I define fit or would feel that is important is relationships. And so whether that be with your family, with your spouse, with your children, you know, one thing that is most important is being fit for God, the relationship that you have with Christ himself. And so, you know, looking forward to just having conversations about how we can become better person in a sense of where we are with our relationships, and so that we will be able to, at the end of the day, lift each other up and be able to go through with certain people and just understand, because I think as you get older, there might be a season in relationships, and the season that we had as someone where maybe at your age, when you turn 40, those individuals may no longer be in your relationship. And so, and why I say having being fit in your relationship with God is so key, because he's the one that really just levels you in a sense of being able to continue to maintain those relationships and understand what those seasons are all about when it comes to relationships.
Yeah, awesome. So Fit Beyond 40, as you guys can either see if you're watching on YouTube or here, it really is a combination of being physically fit, spiritually fit, mentally fit, and all of that will tie into, like what Coach Nelson was saying, how you are in your relationships, because that's what ultimately matters is, are you present in your relationships? Are you fit enough to serve, to walk out God's plan for your life? Because the way that I look at it is, and why it truly is a blend, is if you're lacking faith and if you are not spiritually fit, that means you're depending on your own strength, whether it's mental power or physical power. And I don't know about you guys, but I am weak. Okay. Like ultimately I will try to do things on my own. But I know that my God, my Father is way stronger than I am, because ultimately, when it comes to physical fitness, it's a mental game. It really is. And we work with a lot of women who deal with self-sabotage, who lean to food for comfort, who are emotional eaters, who have all of the excuses, anxiety, procrastination, fear, all of that. It's a mental thing that's stopping them. And we're definitely going to get into that both with Ning and Coach Janae. But if you are spiritually fit, number one, you're going to be leaning on God, who can help you build those things such as self-control, such as discipline, such as, wisdom when it comes to, am I fueling my body with things that is going to drain me, or is it going to give me energy? Being able to stop self-sabotaging thoughts and behaviors, that's alone, if you try in your own strength. And that's why women, unfortunately, are unable to keep off the weight for good. It's because they are victims of self-sabotage, and they say, oh, I am lazy, I can't do it, I'm unworthy. And that is the lies of the enemy. The enemy does not want you to be healthy. The enemy doesn't want you to walk out God's plan for your life. So he's going to distract you. He's going to, manipulate you. He's going to make you depend on other things other than God. So spiritually fit is a huge factor, being fit beyond 40. And then of course, physically fit, if you feel trapped in your own skin, which means you might even, choose not to go out in the world and live out your purpose because you have nothing to wear. So you don't want people to judge you. So you literally say no to social events. You are maybe stopping yourself from being intimate with your spouse because you don't want to hold certain parts of your body that you're embarrassed about. So then your marriage suffers. Perhaps you don't have enough energy, like Coach Janae said, to run after your grandkids because, you don't want to slow them down, or you're afraid. It feels like you're going to have a heart attack because you can't breathe when you run after them. Again, affecting your relationship. So to be physically fit, meaning, are you able to live your best and healthiest life and be fully present in relationships? And so Fit Beyond 40, yes, it alludes to being physically fit, but it's more than that. It's being thoroughly fit. Yeah. And how do I become fit in my faith walk? How do I become fit in my, in it physically? How do I become fit so that I am a loving person and, am able to give and be present in relationships? So that's what Fit Beyond 40 means. It's more than just being physically fit. It really is a holistic way of living your life, of taking advantage of everything that God wants for you, because there is a plan. And in order to walk out that life, we need to be thoroughly fit. So that's what Fit Beyond 40 means and what we're passionate about. And that's our mission, is to how to teach our listeners, how to teach everyone out there to be thoroughly fit, so that you can live this dash for however long the Lord allows you to fully. So yeah, amazing. So I'd love to hear a little bit more about why I had asked you three individually to be a co-host when it comes to these particular segments. So a little bit more of your backstory, maybe. So again, we'll go ladies first. So Ning, why do you think you are the perfect co-host for the faith segment of Fit Beyond 40?
Great question. A piece of my testimony, I grew up in a Christian home. So the traditional home is you go to church on Sunday and frequent events throughout the week, and you're voluntold to serve at church. So my whole life surrounded being a follower of Jesus, but I quite wasn't one. And I knew that because I was only following what my parents were doing. I was only doing it because my parents made me do it. And that lasted for a while. And a quick fun story that I like to share with everyone when I mean, it was my parents' faith. I was probably in pre-K. I was really young, but I remember standing in the front of the church because my dad was at the front of the pulpit where he was leading worship. And so he was singing, he was praying. He would say, "Church, stand up on your feet. Church, lift up your hands and sing. Church, bow your heads in prayer." And I remember as a kid, I would look around. I'm like, wow, everyone's following my dad right now. So then I got home that night and I whispered in the ceiling. I was like, wow, my dad is God. Because everyone was following him and they were basing him and worshiping him, and we were always at church. So while that's a very convoluted way of thinking of it and a very blurry way of my childhood, or blurry flashback to my childhood, it still got to instill in me some principles and the foundation of faith as I grew up. Now, because I grew up in a more Christian household that was really strict, a lot of the times there was more temptations because it was more, you can't do this, don't do that, versus, oh, you're free to do, everything you want. But because we have to live to a moral code or to the standards of God's eyes, there was this call to righteousness that was always hard to live by. And so in my young adult youth years, there was a lot of rule breaking. I will admit that. And in the podcast, I'll slowly unveil some of those things. But it's so interesting that we could choose the prodigal route where we could run away from God so many times, yet his arms are open wide for us to return to. And so I really want to highlight the grace that God had for me in my story. And I'd like to, when we get to open up about your story, just how God just loves you so unconditionally, and you didn't have to start as a child. You could start today, 40-year-old, 41, 46, and he'll just be there to love you unconditionally. But there's still a call that is higher than what we think, and that is to live a life apart from the world. So not to get super into it right now, but I'm very excited because this won't be a do's and don'ts conversation. This will be I've done this, but God still does this.
Amen.
And so I'm very excited to open up that conversation. And I think that encapsulates most of it. And I'm very excited because you're growing in your faith, I'm growing in my faith. We haven't arrived. We don't have all the answers. In fact, I think sometimes we might have to leave a podcast open-ended with questions so we can do our research and say, you know what, I don't have it all together. But maybe by the next podcast, we'll open up with the same question that we ended with. So there's this cool, we're still growing and we don't have it all together and we won't have all the answers. But that's the beauty and the journey of this Christian walk.
Which I love, I've you touched upon the fact that, yes, I came to Christ later. So I have been a born again Christian for 10 years now. And it takes time. He works on your heart slowly. It's a process, really, when the Holy Spirit takes a hold of your heart and sanctifies you, and you start becoming a brand new person. You have a new identity. And Coach Janae has been around for quite some time, and we'll get to your testimony, but I'm sure you have been a witness to my faith walk deepening, and more and more and more, there has been a call on my life to move into more of a fitness ministry. And this is a part of it, is being more vocal and bold when it comes to being a Christian, and also being a Christian woman who cares deeply about fitness, right? And we'll have some really good conversations about, well, how do you do that? Because, you know, when you look at fitness, it can obviously have a secular perspective, but where I want to come from and where I want to coach and teach, and from my own experience, is how do I, because I know that this vessel houses the Holy Spirit, because I know this body doesn't belong to me, how do I look at my fitness, my health from a place of honoring my body, honoring God through my body? And so I'm really excited about, you know, talking about that, talking about our journey, how, you know, how Christ has completely changed me, changed you. And so those are some really great conversations I can't wait to have.
Well, I'm the perfect coach to talk about fitness and nutrition because I was a client first. When I was first introduced to Coach Crystal, I came to her and the program because I needed help myself with gaining a better perspective and understanding of achieving the goals that I wanted to achieve, because I hadn't quite achieved it. I had, you know, periods of success throughout, you know, like late 20s, all throughout my 30s, of achieving, you know, like the weight that I wanted, kind of like the physical aspects of the goals that I wanted to achieve, and then, you know, backsliding or falling off the track or whatever, right? This roller coaster. So I had, you know, gone through the ups and downs several times. And so when I came to Coach Crystal, it was with the I'm in the down phase again, and I need help. And when you're in this repetitive cycle, you're trying everything. So when I say you're in the down cycle, that's, you know, for me personally, it was, you know, when I was like heavy, when I was very heavy, you start to feel secluded. You go into isolation, just like everything that you talked about, where you're turning away social events because nothing fits. You don't feel comfortable. You're always tugging at your clothes. You never want to have, you know, pictures taken, all of that kind of stuff. So I'd go through periods of that. I'd find, you know, something catchy to kind of latch onto and try to lose weight for that, have a little mediocre success for a month or two, and then slide back into old habits. So I was in one of this down kind of momentums when I found Coach Crystal. And then I kind of I obviously signed up for the program, and I started, you know, really doing the work. Now, the big different thing versus all of the other things that I had tried was this focus on mindset. And that's really what made the difference and why I'm still here. And of course, having gone through and, you know, lost some of the weight that I wanted to lose, and then it was kind of like, okay, what's the next goal? And then what's the next goal? So we worked on achieving these goals all throughout. And then it was, I want to coach now, right? And coach the other, you know, ladies in our group, and, you know, share some of the knowledge, share some of the things that I've learned along the way, not just through this program specifically, but also, like, I've been where everyone else has been. I have done all of the things that everybody else has done. I know the that rush of excitement when you have a little bit of success. Yes, I lost 3 pounds this week, right? And I also know the crushing weight of defeat when I've gained 5 pounds this week. Right. So, and I mean, like, these types of struggles, especially if you're a person that has struggled with, you know, just like emotional eating or eating disorders, anything like that, like those are pulls, those are tugs that you feel like for the rest of your life, just like any addiction. It's like this it's constantly in your brain. It's constantly there. So it's something that I continue to, like, everything that I learned in the program is still things that I continue to leverage to this day. It doesn't ever just go away, right? I still use the tools and the tactics to help me. So those are things that I know work. So, yes, I feel like I'm in a great position to share that because I can speak from experience. Of course, everybody's different and everybody will have different ways to make it work to their benefit. But at the very least, I know what it feels like to be in that spot and to have years and years and years of just, succeeding and failing, succeeding and failing, succeeding and failing. So I feel like I had this wonderful stretch of success, right? Where I haven't, now we all kind of like trip and fall every once in a while, but I haven't had that major setback, that major backslide, and where everything just kind of falls apart and my mindset just goes. I might fall a little bit, kind of fall off the program every once in a while, do my own thing, just let life happen, celebrate Christmas, whatever that means. But at least it's not a full and complete backslide where my mindset just goes completely out the window and then I abandon everything, right? So we talk about the mindset, but this is just another reiteration of how important it is to rely on that and to put all the weight in the mindset, because that is what is going to hold you up when you fall, right?
And because I'm a witness to your evolution, Coach Janae, like I remember specifically that face-to-face first conversation we had. And I think you've shared in previous podcasts and in challenges and whatnot that you were wearing your fat jeans and even your fat jeans were too tight. And so the fact that you have firsthand experience and then graduated through our program, and I have to say, Coach Janae was the best student because she would come to,
I went all in.
She would come to every single mindset mastery class. We host various classes on Zoom as a part of our program. She would come pen in hand, ready to work. And in fact, while you were still in the program as a client, you went on vacation to Mexico.
Yeah.
And I wasn't expecting you to log in for class, but there she was in her room in Mexico at this resort, joining in, ready for class. Yeah. And what I remember you saying was, well, this is the best time to actually apply what I'm learning because there's temptation everywhere.
It's a perfect example. Like, why wouldn't I be here? This is when I need it the most.
And that's one of the things that we really emphasize in our program. And here's the thing. Every single one of my coaches on my team graduated from my program. So they've literally walked in your shoes and now they're walking the talk because they practice what they teach and preach. And I truly believe the best coaches are not just educated or book smart, but because they've lived it. They've been rock bottom and they've come out the other end, and they're here to teach you to avoid maybe making the same mistakes that they made, so you can skip that part, share their experience, share their heart, and they're coming up from a place of integrity and love and compassion and can empathize with all of our members because they've literally been there. They know what it feels like. And so a lot of our podcast will be very practical. Again, focusing primarily, with women who are over 40. So talks about, the menopause transition and sleep. And, Coach Janae, she is also one of our vegan health coaches in our program and is the queen of making comfort food healthy. And, we are just really blessed to have her on our team because she's a wealth of knowledge when it comes to nutrition. We also want to help all of our ladies learn how to create a sustainable lifestyle. And that's key, is sustainability. We don't want our women, we are not a quick fix. There are phases that our ladies go through. And, I'll go into that when we get into the fitness component segment of this podcast. But we really want to create a sustainable lifestyle so that not only do you release the weight, and I don't like saying losing the weight because when you think lose it, your intention is to find it again.
We don't want it back.
Right? So it's
unless it's muscle, but
Yeah, exactly. So we want to release body fat and we, because that's primarily the women that their initial goals is they want to release body fat, and the whole point is to not find it again. Right. Yeah. And so I'm really excited and I'm very proud of you because you're absolutely right. It's a mindset. You have a new identity now. Yeah. The difference between Janae 1.0 and Janae 2.0 is before you would fall back into old habits, whereas now you know exactly what to do to jump right back in.
Yeah.
And that's the key thing that we also implement and teach inside our Fit Beyond 40 coaching programs is, life is going to happen.
Yeah.
When life is lifing, that's when you need to practice what we teach you, because we still want you to literally enjoy going on holidays, going on that cruise, birthdays, anniversaries, all the things, but at the same time, not veer off so that you completely fall off, revert back to old ways that are not healthy for you. And one of the sayings that I love, which is cute, but there's so much truth to it, is if you're tired of starting over, stop giving up.
Yeah.
And that's what that's our main focus, especially when it comes to fitness.
Yeah.
So I love that.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess this is me. To be honest, to be truthful, a lot of my journey with building the business with Coach Crystal has been behind the scenes. And so this is really new to me. These ladies here are like considered really professional in comparison to what I have to share. But I think what is going to be really great and I'm really excited about is being able just to exactly that, talk about like the behind the scenes stuff, because I think in society, in our world, people look at things on social media and it's perfect, but things are not perfect, whether that comes with relationship, whether that comes with your marriage. There's a lot of things that over the years, us being over 40, we've had to go through trials, tribulations to even get to where we are. And so being able just to talk about our journey, from our faith, from our marriage, from building the business, from, having to have certain relationships with different people is really exciting to me, because what I've realized that it's not easy, right? And my whole intention is to ensure that I speak the truth and just wholeheartedly share what we go through on a day-to-day, and hopefully our listeners would be able to just learn. But one really thing that I'm really excited about is that journey within our faith and how it's really evolved through the past 10, 15 years, right? Especially...
How long have we been married?
We've been married 17 years.
Pass. You passed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He remembered that just in case you were going to ask him.
Yeah.
Because our anniversary was when?
Oh my gosh, you're putting me on the spot. January 29th.
Thank you.
Yeah. And even with that being said, I will be honest with you. Even the first, I'll say the third or fourth year of our marriage was like the hardest part. And that's where one episode we'll be able to share that and just give you that sneak peek of behind the curtains. And so really excited to how the episodes that you and I will have, and just be able to share to our listeners that life is not perfect. We're going to learn from one another, and we have like great women like yourselves to be inspired by. But at the end of the day as well, there is a role for myself to be a God-fearing man, to be able to lead my family, to be able to lead my wife as well. So I'm excited for any men that be listening that are age over 40 to challenge you in how you can become fit in your relationship as a husband. And so that's what I'm excited for.
Well, okay, I think you've just expanded my audience, because it's primarily women, but all of my female listeners, hey, if you want to share the episodes that where we speak about family, where we speak about marriage, definitely share it with your spouse or your partner. To that point, I think we're really going to focus on how do you have a fruitful marriage, and really the secret sauce to our marriage is that Christ is in the center, and we've been through a lot. And we want to share as well. If you're probably, if you are struggling in your marriage, things that we've practiced and that has helped us communicate better, to forgive each other faster, to just be able to be on the same page. And so, yeah, this is definitely going to be fun. But I also know that I was telling these girls, I need to reel them in sometimes, because he can go off in like many tangents, but it's going to be fun. So I'm really excited, and I feel really blessed. This is a brand new chapter for the Get Crystallized show, now evolving to FitBeyond40. Just really encompasses, honestly, who I am, to be honest, as a coach, as a teacher, as a wife, as a sister, as a friend. It really truly speaks to every core value that matters to me. And I'm just so blessed and honored to have these three amazing co-hosts who are truly family. Coach Janae is Filipino by association. Yep. She's literally my sister from another mister. But every single one of them have so much knowledge and experience, and I feel really blessed and honored to open up this podcast and have these three amazing co-hosts. So with that being said, it will look like an episode a week. Is what we're going to do our best to roll it out. We'll have kind of on rotation, 1 week on family, 1 week on fitness, 1 week on faith. And also what I wanted to do for our listeners is also still bring in experts once a month. I'd love to, and I have already been recording some sessions with some really awesome experts in the fields of relationships, in the fields of finance, in mental health, organizational experts. So across the gamut, that would help people in general be fit in all areas, not just in family, fitness, and faith, but also maybe in their career, maybe specifically in their relationships. After, if you have gone through a divorce, how do I get myself become fit so I can start dating again? There's going to be an array of really amazing guests and experts that I'm looking forward to sharing with all of you. So something awesome to look forward to every single week. And, and I, in the Get Crystallized show, I always said, I'm your personal trainer in your pocket. I still want to encourage that. Yes. I love the idea for all my podcast listeners that listen through Spotify or Apple, putting us in your earbuds while you're power walking, getting some fresh air, getting some vitamin D, and listening to us while we share some knowledge, tips, tools, experience, and really put our hearts on the table. I think will be valuable to you. So we look forward to being with you during your workouts, maybe even when you're doing some chores, whatever it may be. We hope that we're really, truly going to pour into you. And we're going to, again, put our hearts on the table and just really share our experience so that you can all be fit beyond 40. So with that being said, I can't wait to roll this out to my three co-hosts. Please give them a round of applause. Round of applause. Love you guys so much. God loves you more. And we'll see you on the next episode.
See ya.